Of all the things that the brain can do, the part that I find most fascinating is emotion states. How do they give rise to our subjective feelings? How do they control our behavior? And right now, the field is struggling to have a science of emotion. My colleagues and I feel that psychiatric disorders are fundamentally disorders of emotion systems, mood systems, and motivational systems. We feel, like in everything else in biology, that in order to fix something when it goes wrong, you have to understand how it works when it's working properly. I mean, how could you possibly expect a mechanic to fix your car if he had no idea how the car worked when it was functioning properly? What we do here at Caltech in my laboratory is we use fruit flies to identify neurons that control specific innate behaviors like fighting, mating, and defensive responses to predators. And these behaviors are accompanied by strong internal states of arousal and motivation and emotion. And in flies, what you can do is you can go in and manipulate the brain, literally with the push of a button. You see a part of the brain light up. So we can toggle aggression on and off with the flick of the switch because we've identified the correct neurons. These kinds of experiments with that level of specificity were unthinkable even in the year 2000. If you think about the current state of treatment for psychiatric disorders like depression, they're treated with drugs like Prozac that act by changing the chemical balance in the brain. That's a bit like trying to replace the oil in your automobile engine by opening the hood and pouring a can of oil all over the engine and hoping some of it runs into the right place. Some of it may, but a lot of it will run into places where it will do more harm than good. And so we can imagine if this field moves forward, I think over the next 10 to 20 years, there may be new therapies that target disorders like depression and anxiety with a much greater degree of specificity so that you treat the disorder without all of the side effects that are accompanied by today's drugs. That would give me the greatest sense of satisfaction to look out there and say, look, there's a treatment happening now that didn't exist before that is making sick people better in a way that we couldn't previously have imagined. That's not the only reason for doing the research, but it's an important one.